Welcome to the Daily Jerry Anderson podcast, where the presenter is concerned about the changing face of politics in Ulster. Men are growing beards. Men who in the past would never have a beard about the place. Why was I not told about David Trimble's beard? I should have been told about that immediately when I walked in here.
Oh,
yesterday.
I talked about it.
I never heard anything about it.
I advised him to shave it off. He's like a Shakespearean actor.
He looks like somebody
out of work.
He looks like somebody out of the Dubliners. I saw a photograph of him today. I get very, very big shocks today. First of all, I opened the paper and I see David Trimble with a ginger beard, looking like a man completely insane. And then I see the monkeys.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
The monkeys were on the One show last
Were you
night.
watching the One show?
I had the misfortune of seeing it.
Have you actually? Do you actually watch the One
No,
show?
it was on. It was
The One Show is the most depressing program I think I've ever
I heard
seen.
it
And the reason why
trained.
it's so depressing is because it's so relentlessly false and cheerful.
No, I heard the fact that the monkeys would be on the show, and I said I have to see. The
Hey, we're the
monkeys.
monkeys. We're 75 years old. We're busy singing. We'll never be cold.
There's only
Hey,
three
we're the
of them.
monkeys. Put that blanket round my knee. Sorry, go ahead.
There's only three of them.
I know one of them refused to take part. He's the one who's got sense.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Nesmith. He was the one who never liked them. The other three, you can tell. They played here about 15 or 20 years ago in the, what do you call it, the Waterfront Hall. And they were old then. Yeah. Can you imagine what they're like now? Did you actually see them?
Yeah.
What are they, who's the worst looking? We have to remind the people who are listening that the monkeys were a kind of an
Torque.
engineered... They were kind of an engineered Beatles.
Yeah.
They came out in 1966. They were originally a cartoon feature, and then they decided to make these cartoon people. You know, like, do you remember the Archies? They were the same as that. So they put kind of flesh to the cartoon, and they formed this band, and they became the Monkeys. And look at them now. What do they look like in the flesh? Were they able to talk?
What do you call
everything?
what do you call the fella Torque? What's his first name?
Peter Tork.
Peter Torque. Peter
Tork. Michael Dolenz.
Per Peter hasn't sort of weathered the storm too well.
Who does he look like?
No, I don't want to say.
Go on.
No, I don't want to say.
You told me earlier.
I don't want to say.
Who does he look like?
No, I'm not going to say.
Come on.
I'm not going to say. I don't want to end
This
up
is
in-
what's wrong with you. You're afraid.
I don't want to
There's
end up
nothing
in
wrong with you saying
the High Court.
All you're saying is that you looked at this guy and he reminds you of... There's nothing wrong with saying... I mean, if I looked at somebody and I'd say, he reminds me of, let's say...
But we're saying he's not wearing well. That means implying that the other
No,
man's
you
not
didn't
wearing
say he wasn't wearing well.
I did say he's wearing. I think he's burned a bit of oil. You see, so I can't say that now. I can't mention the other man now.
All right,
see?
then. His
You
big
see?
end's gone.
Yes.
The presenter has always been a source of great comfort to many who seek out his expertise and advice. Mr. Coyle, whose eyebrow is becoming more furrowed by the hour, is one of those who turn to him for wisdom.
It's something that I want to ask you, but I can't talk about it.
Okay, let's try and get round that some way,
yeah,
okay?
If you can, I don't want to. You're right. Don't.
I mean, you don't want to probe it.
No, just want to.
You just want to mention it in passing, and you want me to talk about it, but you don't want to talk about it personally.
Yeah, I want you to say, well, this is why.
Okay.
If at all possible.
You don't want to get into the discussion about it.
No.
Okay.
And I just want to skirt around it. Okay?
Oh,
All right?
scared? Right, okay.
There was a time when doctors did something, but they don't do it anymore. And I wonder why have they stopped?
I'll tell you why.
Or do you know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
Don't you? And
I know.
what at one time it cured everything and it told the doctor everything, didn't it?
They did that, yeah.
Well, why have they stopped?
Because times have changed, Sean. They can't do that anymore because what they do... Emma...
It's not for Emma's ears.
It's not for Emma.
No.
Emma, leave the room.
Yes.
The doctor, you're going to the doctor, and the doctor says, stand up there, son.
Yes.
And he would do a certain thing.
Yes.
And he'd say, yeah. And he would tell you what the results of that thing that he did would have done, well, what he would have learned from that thing that he did. And
He would ask you to do a Tom Jones impersonation.
Yes.
Wouldn't he?
But at the same time as you're doing it, he'd ask you to go...
That's your...
But at the same time as you're going, he would be doing something. Yes.
Why have they stopped?
Because it's open to misinterpretation.
I've wondered.
Because I think perhaps
what did it tell them?
I think perhaps one or two doctors did that and they didn't have to do it at all. And this kind of got to the ears of people who are in charge of the Gerald Michael Anderson, the General Medical Association.
That's very good.
Anyway, they don't do it anymore because I think the short answer to that, and I have to say it's pretty short, the answer is they're afraid to.
Was that right?
Yeah.
That's so
because somebody might say, listen, excuse me, I went to the doctor's the other day and he asked me to go, and he did a certain thing, and I don't think it was absolutely necessary. I didn't like the look in his eye, and I'd like to report him. You see? You can't do it to women.
There's a call in one.
I was laughing. I
know.
think she knows what it is.
Yeah.
How do you call Emma? Quick! Quick, Emma! Quick! Reach over. Mr. Coyle's recent performance on the programme has been criticised by an all-party committee, who highlighted his lack of attention to what has actually been said. The presenter, never one to shirk responsibility, has been forced to address the matter. If you had listened sometimes, you would know some of the essential building blocks of humanity that are sometimes displayed here, which you're totally unaware of. And I'm not saying you're stupid, you're a very smart guy, but you're not interested in anything. You don't care about anything. I think life has turned you this. It's the troubles, I think, made you the way you are. Remember the time you threw the kitchen sink in the top of the Army
No, it was a cooker.
Land Rover?
It was a cooker.
I think that was a turning point for you. What do you want?
What was it? Have you
Was
any
it
idea?
a cooker?
No, have you any
You
idea
threw a
what
cooker in the Army?
I was accused of doing it.
You were accused of throwing was it an electric cooker or a gas cooker?
It was I think a present-day serving policewoman
Yes.
said she remembers me at the top of the flats.
Throwing a cooker on top of an Army Land
Rover?
Rover?
Down on top of her.
What about the fella the other day got jailed for throwing a fire extinguisher down from a... remember that?
And rightly so.
But you're still here. You're still walking around free. I mean, if a man gets jailed for throwing a fire extinguisher, he should get 10 times
Why
the
why am I not arrested?
I don't know. I'm going to make a citizen's arrest.
Yes, this
I'm going to go in and
remembers
frog
me.
march you down to the station and say, this is the cooker fiend. The recent announcement of the 40th anniversary of decimalisation has bypassed the programme, the presenter and the attention span of the listeners. But mention suspenders and threepenny bits and rating success can't be far off. The time when girls used to wear nylons and suspender belts, they used to, sometimes you had a little...
I hate them.
What?
I hate them.
Did you? Oh, I'm almost afraid to ask you why.
No, don't. I don't like the look of them.
We won't go down that road. There are many things we could
No,
talk
no.
about here,
No.
and some of which are unsuitable.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is the method used. See, there was no elasticated top on the nylons, and as you know, the nylons only came up halfway up your thigh, not your thigh, the female thigh, halfway between the knee and the. They came up there, and there was no. So there had to be a means to hold them up.
Yes.
Thereby, the suspender belt was used, and from that suspender belt hung a kind of a pulley, right? And what you had to do was you had to place some kind of button or something.
A pulley? A pulley?
No, it's whatever you call. I can't think what you call it. A thing hanging down. It's not a thing that hangs down from the suspender.
Had it got a wee clip on it?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
You, and you
But you
pressed
see,
the wee-
what you did was you had to put something in the nylon and then put the clip over the top of it. And the thing that was chosen and was known to be ideal was an Irish 6-penny piece. You used it like a little button.
Was it?
Yeah. And so the expression was, if you got that far, you're on the money.
Let's move on.
Welcome back.
What about a call?
Oh, I don't know. Who's on?
Have
you got to see you're embarrassed
Yes,
now?
there is.
There's nothing
Alan,
wrong
Alan,
with talking about
I'm not
that.
saying that.
You're going already like Eamon Holmes. You're going red.
No, because...
You're
do you
going
me-
red.
No, do you remember the netting wire? Remember I talked to you before about that?
I don't recall that
Yes,
conversation.
the netting wire. When you're a wee boy,
What about it?
playing with netting wire.
I didn't play with
Chicken-
netting wire.
Yes, you did.
Chicken wire. I
Chicken
didn't
wire.
play with it.
Chicken wire, netting wire.
What did you do with it?
Well, we all did it.
I don't know what you did. Tell me
Did
what
not
you
do
did
it
with
down in your neck of the woods?
No.
You put your hand on each side of the chicken wire,
Yeah.
and then you pulled your hand, both hands up through the netting wire, the chicken wire,
Why would you do that?
because it made your hands feel ever so soft.
I never did that.
Ah, and then they say that was, you know,
What?
that was.
Oh, stop.
Do you know?
Oh,
You know.
This is going into a very bad area.
Ah, but you know what I mean. It was a soft.
Stop it.
Do you know what I mean?
Stop
don't
it.
you? No, you
I
started.
thought I
it.
was bad talking about the 6-penny pieces.
You put me now in netting
I know.
wire.
Stop it.
Well,
No wonder Emma's laughing. She's embarrassed. That's a nervous laugh. Emma, get out now while you can. The presenter is undergoing some serious training for his appearance in the New York Marathon in November. He is now able to put on his running shoes without any help from anyone else. Mr. Coyle, of course, has always been a fan of the presenter's physique.
I thought you being a former athlete. and you would have known, and a former runner.
Well, I was a former
thought you
athlete,
were
and
a
I'm also a future athlete.
Yes, that's right.
My career isn't over yet.
Yes,
For the benefit of people who do not realise this, I will be running the New York Marathon in November. I may not finish it. I may not be there to see it. But I'm going to start that. Staten Island, I'll be there. November. 6th of November. Go! I'll be off. And I'm going to do my darndest, Sean. Do you know why? Because I'm doing it for the people of Ulster. The good people of Ulster, not those other ones. I'm doing it for the good people, the people who will be behind me all the way. And for charity.
A man heard you talking once about your... You said on this programme that you used to do the high... The
high jump.
Not the high jump. The pole vault.
The pole vault, yes.
Pole vault. And he said he remembers you in Brook Park with the branch of a tree practicing.
Well, you see, I was dedicated. I don't see anything particularly funny in that.
What do you do with a branch of a tree trying to practice pole vaulting?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because we didn't have facilities then, because we were Catholics. So you had to make your own fun. So if a man didn't have a pole vault, he made his own vaulting pole.
And you had a branch of a tree?
Do-it-yourself vaulting pole. And then one moved on to the stainless steel vaulting pole, and the rest is history. This programme has always been known for breaking show business stories. Just this morning, another red-hot exclusive was revealed.
They're in the Island Centre in Lisburn on St Patrick's Night. They are. Muriel rings, so they must be making a comeback.
They're on the Island Centre in Lisburn on St Patrick's Night.
Barnbreck.
Oh, very good. We wish them all the best, and that'll be a hell of a night. Hail Gloria, St. Patrick, dear saint of our isle. Among us little children, we halt and we smile. OK, well, thank you for that, sir.
OK, thank you.
St. Columba broke a window and blamed it on St. Paul. What's Ken doing in here?
I don't know. He's writing something.
Ken?
What's
he doing?
There's a call on too. He's writing something. There's a written message for me.
It's to stop singing about St. Patrick, is it?
Barnbreck, we're on. This is what he's writing. We're on. Jerry, with Jerry, with
Kelly.
a J, with a J.
No.
Last week. Oh, Jerry, Barnbreck. Oh, where are they, Ken?
Thanks, Ken.
Oh, thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
They were on with Jerry Kelly last week.
So much for that scoop.
There's a call on too.
Hello, good morning.
It's from Ken.
Good morning, Jerry.
Yes, who's this?
This is Jerry.
Yes, Jerry.
And the thing about the tights was it was an old half P.
Half P would be too big.
No, the old one.
No, a halfpenny?
Yes.
No.
What kind of legs? What kind of legs do you think these people had?
It was a halfpenny, and when you were courting a girl, when they were being left out to the door, the old mother or the granny would have said, "Keep your hand in your halfpenny." Right? My mother-in-law used to say it, God rest her, and that's where it came from.
Yeah, my mother used to say, "Keep your hand in your tanner."
Well, you must have had more money.
We were richer.
We were rich. And the other thing, could you just
keep your hand in your hipney?
Could you explain what was wrong with the bull?
Yes, Sean.
What?
The bull.
What about it?
The bull that you
Coughed.
felt.
There's nothing wrong with the bull.
So it works then?
What do you mean it works?
He's referring to the conversation we had earlier on the programme. Remember you asked the bull to cough?
The bull, not the bull.
Yes, the bull. What was it, Mustang?
Thank you for listening. Back tomorrow. It's podcast.